Hey, hey. Ooh, the sound works. Yay. Welcome to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura, if you knew the channel, and I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. We do look at everything, but we take time to look at spiritual blocks, the shadows here. They play out as karmic themes. The readings have a therapy style to them. It's not so much what your person is going to do, though we always want to know that, but it's not really the focal point because a lot of times we're dealing with karmics. Actually, all soul relationships are karmic because they have the potential to teach us. That's really what soul relationships do. They come into our lives and they make us look at something that we wouldn't be looking at. They trigger us, they awaken, they can inspire. Not always, not all the time is it a negative thing. Sometimes it's a really positive and profound thing. And not all the time do you get to be with your soulmate. There's many different types of soulmates. We know that there's twin flame, there's past karmic mate, there's soul partner, person that you just go through life with, and there's a mutual bond and love. There is the soulmate that's a friend. There's a soulmate that's an acquaintance that you're like, I feel a connection to this person, but I don't really know them. It's like, and it's not like they put any energy towards getting to know me. However, there's a mutual claircognizance, clairsentient connection, which I don't know how I know. I know that's what that means. It's that higher knowing. It's the wisdom knowing. Thing is, with karmic relationships, they get corroded over time. So there is a lot of love. There is a lot of passion. It's just due to the lessons not being learned from the past life and then the previous life, however long that past karmic mate has been in your life, to the present moment. It's over time, it's like, the person lied, cheated, betrayed you, hurt you, and the lesson doesn't learn, you don't learn the lesson. Or the person goes through feeling smothered, loses their identity, becomes everything that they want, that they think that you want them to be. They lose their identity because they're insecure. That's why they do that. And then turns into whoever they want to once they get comfortable. We've all dated people like that, where we think that they're one person and they're really another person. So there's all different types of soulmates. To understand things from a spiritual perspective allows you to see things from a place of understanding and without placing blame on yourself. Because a lot of times we'll be like, why didn't I see that? How come I didn't see that? What the hell was going on? Like, who was I? And why did they get away with that? And why did they do that? Then we have a wound because there's all these questions. And those questions not being answered are what creates fragmentation. Fragmentation is from disassociation, detachment. So it's like, what happened. You just don't have an emotion towards what happened anymore. Get me another glass of wine. Oh, I need to smoke a joint. Let me go shopping. That's when we, again, do things outside of ourselves to get that dopamine hit. So we know, again, karmic mates bring a negative energy because they create negative emotions. So to integrate the spiritual lesson also means to transmute the emotion. Otherwise, you're an energy being, which means that you're supposed to be vibrating, and you vibrate at whatever consciousness you are, depending on how many shadows, how much fragmentation you actually have. So the thing is, once you integrate the spiritual lesson, you become more whole. You come back to your original state, which is just unconditional love. So when we're looking at the shadows, we're also looking at the inner child wounds. We're looking at the fragmentations. We're looking at the habits and the behaviorisms that are blocking you and this person, like the dynamic of why your relationship is playing out the way that it is. Otherwise, you wouldn't be aware. It's like we're aware of only so much. Just like when you meet your karmic mate, a lot of times we're seeing their potential. We're seeing the parts of them that we feel are missing within inside of us, things that we admire about them. But it's usually those same things that will bring you down later on in life. I mean, it bring you down with that person later on down the road in life if you're with them. All right. I always like to explain a little bit before I get on because I always get new people every day and new people wind up on the channel. And awareness is what healing is, right? It's again, healing is about seeing things from a different perception. And obviously, one that puts you in a place of empowerment, excitement, passion, a higher level of consciousness. And so there you can always shape shift a situation. Know that there's many different realities that play it at one time. So I'll tell you what is happening, but I will also tell you what you should do. You know, I don't predict the future. You are the alchemist of your life, but I won't tell you. I'll tell you which way I would go and which way and why those reasons are, and you can make the decision yourself. You know, but most likely you would pick the door that has all the prizes, not the big zonker. You know what I mean? It's like it's a no-brainer because I see it, you know. So when we don't see it, that there's a problem. Again, want to enter into winning a free reading with me, have to be open to getting a shadow reading. Good morning, Sheila and Siska and Great Big Heart and everyone else that is on and everybody else that will catch this live stream later. Oh, if you're interested in healing the effects of trauma, and I'm doing a big reveal. However, I'm giving away a free webinar on Sunday at 10 o'clock. So if you're interested, sign up to be put on the wait list. The link is the first comment is also in the description box, along with all other information, including the word of the video if you wanted to enter into winning a free reading with me. But they'll also be not just the sign up sheet, but they'll have the time zone. So you'll be able to see, oh, if it's at 10 a.m. my time, what time is it where I am? You know, so then this way you don't have to figure out. It's easy, it's free, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time, not just pulling oracle spreads and being interactive, but also picking topics that you guys wanted to know about, because we've been doing a lot of research on what you guys want to know. And what you want to know is why you keep attracting the same types of people, situations, experiences, how to break the family karma. That's actually a few. I'm going to pull them up really fast. Break the cycle of pain, how to let go of emotional attachments and energy ties to the past, exes, betrayals, and traumas. Again, a lot of people feel like even when the relationship is over, they still have that karmic cord, and they're like, I still feel that person. That person still affected me. So again, tools to release anger, shame, oppressive thoughts. It's those that are actually what create that karmic cord. Yeah, you're thinking about that person, but you're angry. You're resentful. It's again because the person didn't treat you right. So you have to learn how to integrate the spiritual lesson. And then how to rebuild trust in yourself, you know, others, and a life after trauma. All right. So and also how to build a life full of love, joy, and purpose while creating healthy boundaries, how to be in a relationship. So these are all like topics that we will be going over within the webinar. And like I said, it's free. Because understand, we're in a spiritual war right now. It's a war on consciousness. It's not a physical war. It's one that messes with your mind. And it's, you know, your environment has created a lot of your reality because you form the habits and behaviorisms. But it's those habits and behaviorisms that also activate DNA. So when you heal the effects of trauma, you actually become healthier. Your body and mind are self-healing organisms. Remember that. You are made up of the universe, and the universe is God, and the universe is just all-knowing. And so you too have that power and potentiality. So again, if you want to enter into winning a free reading, the comment that go into the description box. And if you want to sign up for that webinar. It's free. Again, click on the link. All right. Now, without further ado, let's pull the first card out, and the first betrayal. Betrayal. That's why I felt like again, that karmic cord. That's why the spirit always talks about something a little bit before we jump into the reading. Probably because of my own anxiety. Like, what am I supposed to talk about? Or how do I know that I'm gonna be? So the universe always shows something, triggers me to talk about something. So again, not uncommon to get, again, betrayal. So we know automatically it's a karmic, no matter what kind of karmic. But I'm going to pull another just from my deck, the Psychic Soul Healer deck, which eventually I'll be having a certification course on. All right, empathy. Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer here, right here. It's like you're somebody that's really loving, open, kind. Most Scorpios are. They just are emotional. They were deep, and not surface. And the thing is, you really have to like someone to give them your time. And so even though you have a problem like expressing yourself and sharing your emotions, especially with a person that isn't open to expressing their emotions. If they make you feel comfortable, then you'll say something. If you get really comfortable with the person, even if they don't share their emotions, you'll share your emotions. But that's not the norm for you. So understand, you have a soulmate that was able to tap in through that energy, the clairsentient, claircognizance, I know it, that the type of person you are, because they're observant. They're not one that says anything. They're somebody that would do it sneaky, someone that likes to strategize. So someone that always has to be like 10 steps ahead. They obviously don't have good relationships or haven't had good relationships, wants to be in control. So observes you and says, well, you're really busy. You don't really give time to just anybody. You hang out with a certain type of crowd, do certain things. So again, their calculation is, well, every time I come around, you give me time. You may not call me, you may not chase me, but all I have to do is come around and you give me the time. And that tells me how important I am. This is this person. So they used your empathy and sensitivity and the connection of that empathy, and they were able to do it. Because again, remember, karmics or soulmates from past lives, they have that knowing. They found you in this life, or you found them in this life, whatever it was, you recognized the energy, and you're able to get close. Your boundary was more down with a person like this because they felt like home. They also knew how to make you feel that way. And then what happened is, once they got comfortable and they knew that you were comfortable, it was like, okay, well, now I'm getting a little bored. Let me go and talk to Mary Jane. Let me go talk to Bobby. Let me talk. Like, it's like, but I'm going to keep you on the hook. I like you. I feel our energy, but, I can't make this decision right now. I'm not ready to settle down. So this is the betrayal, because they used the sensitivity. They actually used this connection that could have been where they could have stepped up into the twin flame connection. But right here tells us that they fucked up. They didn't pass the karmic test. Karmic tests are that. It's like this person, every lifetime, this person has the opportunity to step it up to be the divine counterpart, right? To integrate those higher levels of consciousness, which would be unconditional love, self-sacrifice, and courage, all those higher, again, levels of consciousness that are derived from unconditional love. But instead, no, what did they decide to do? They decided to do things shady, Well, I'm lazy. I don't really want to do all that. I don't really know that I'm going to want to be with you forever. It's like, yeah, I know that we feel that have this connection, but I really don't know. It's like, and I don't want to be made to, I don't want to be pressured. I don't want to be. So again, we see the control, and we see again, this person's not communicating. They're not sharing right then and there what their concerns are. So you're not able to make it your own choice. Because, hey, I don't want you to go anywhere either. Oh, no. Lower consciousness, sneaky. See, sneaky strategizing. Again, not in the heart. Right then and there, that tells you. Right then and there, root chakra. So that's the underlining energy. You don't have to write both words. You could just write betrayal, but we understand why. And I feel like for a while you were self-critical because of it. Where this person, if anything, they're making it like they're the victim. I have to tell you, where for a little while you were like, no, if anybody was the victim, I was the victim. So it's this energy that you both share. It's like, you're like, yeah, but they did this to me. And Spirit says, they shouldn't have been able to do it to you. That's how we know that it's your block. It's the also. That's again the matching energy. Wait a minute, because I was nice. Because I just gave this person the Spirit says, you might have not given them, but it was a lot of your energy was going there. And it's because they were able to, manipulate that. It's again, I don't want to give you, but I want to keep you on the hook. So, which is why it was very confusing for you. You're like, I don't really understand what the hell this is. And to be honest with you, this person looks like they want to represent themselves as someone very important. And I think at the time when you met them, you're like friendly with everyone. You're someone that's, again, you're just a real person. You're a deep person. You're a genuine person. And I feel like this is all important because karmics learn from each other. So you learned what the hell? You can have this type of connection and be betrayal. What did it make me look at for myself? Well, for this person, it's like they chose you because they didn't think you had enough money. That's why they didn't invest enough. That was part of the thing. They thought that they could get better. And it's the hard truth. And it's not because they didn't know that you had this connection. It's their own wound of no matter who they have, it'll never be enough because they're not enough. People don't betray otherwise. It's the lack. We forget that people do things from a place of fear. They don't do them because, hey, I'm shady. It's the underlining energy. It's like, yeah, it's the behaviorism is shady. It's like they're still mean, but it's because of the lack. And I say that this person that needs to be seen a certain way. So again, more in the ego says more about them than you. And you are actually just so different. Someone that's bold, someone that speaks their truth, someone that's creative, someone that's friends with everyone, somebody that, again, this person puts you on a pedestal. They put you on, they've never met anyone like you. That, again, you make them look at life different. And then when they first met you, it was a little bit scary because it was everything that they're not. So this is, again, why they had the opportunity to step into that twin flame role. But instead, they weren't ready, and it triggered them. Again, I don't like how it makes me want to be vulnerable with you. I don't like safety. It was mainly a reaction. However, they still again created that distance, didn't fix it, and that's why they again stayed a karmic. However, they do think that you're all that and a bag of chips. That's the crazy thing. It's like they think you change them, but their behaviorism was like that. Now I feel like for a long time you were in a place of self-observation. That's what they pushed you into, because when a person does all that, we don't just stare at them. We look at ourselves and we say, why did this person do that? How couldn't I see that? And so the self-observation is also now this person is looking at themselves. and they're seeing how cruel that they were. This person has a lot of repressed and attentive behaviors, like, and that's really the repressed emotions, and just needing to control, needing to, like, and what happens is, because they're always in that energy, it's they're like tactless. They're like the things that they do. It's like, and that they're living from really this survival mind, and that survival mind is doesn't feel good. It's run mainly on adrenaline. When we, again, that root chakra, we're in survival, and that means the mind is chattering, and the cortisol is pumping, and we're living then from our addictions. That's how this person actually, and I call this like actually like a spiritual sickness. It's almost where the person doesn't believe that they can have love. It's like, and then they don't really, the ego just takes over, because a person can't go around saying, I'm not deserving of love. They won't do that. No one does that. They create an ego. Now, down deep inside, if you would talk to that person over time, and work with that person, eventually you'd see all their cracks, all of their fragmentations, everything else. But in the beginning, you're not going to see that. What you're going to see is self-righteous. You're going to see cruel. You're going to see manipulative. You're going to see tactless behavior, which is like cheating, like drinking, maybe going to work all day drunk, like just not caring about how other people perceive, thinking that no one's perceiving you. And that's really what it is. So with you, I feel like you're in the genius type of energy. And the genius part of energy is that higher self. And the higher self is a God part of self. And so you ask, how do you cut a cord? Well, a cord is made up of your thoughts and your emotions. ESP is through, again, thoughts and emotions. Your soulmate, past life karmic mate, you have that cord. So if you're feeding that cord, and you feed it every time you come on YouTube and you want to know what they're going to do. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, it's where, I mean, I want you to be here, but you want to know. Now, that's why I teach how to integrate the spiritual lesson, because part of you guys are like, I want to know, but I also am tired of this. I'm tired of this nothing. It makes me angry. It makes me feel like it makes me bored. It makes me lonely. It makes me feel, again, all the things that really, that spirit says that person shouldn't be able to do all that. The fact that they were able to do it is that they're a cord. You fix the cord, and you cut that cord every time you join something. You cut that cord every time your attention goes somewhere else, not onto them, which means it's a grounding issue on your part. Because again, your mind is strong. Our mind is how it's our thoughts that create our reality. Remember that. So, and then our words, and then it's how much we feed of it, right? So it's how much time, energy, focus, money you put towards something that you want to know is what creates that cord. But there's love there. And remember, that love will never be broken. So it's not like you ever really break the cord fully. The difference is eventually you have a cord and an understanding with that person, but you don't have a feeling one way or the other about them. You're just like, it's almost like when you really like someone for a really long time, and you fed it, and then, it doesn't work out. And then you have to go through all the emotions and really grieve. And then eventually you forget. Eventually somebody else comes into your life. Eventually, and that, so that you, it's not so much that that cord is broken. You might turn around and be like, usually if the cord isn't broken and it's not healed, you look at the person and you go, ugh. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, I dated them a long time ago. Like, it had its moments. Like, it taught me. That person came into my life and taught me. It's when it's the betrayal is still there, and you haven't integrated that spiritual lesson of betrayal, which is, now I don't trust myself. So it comes into a whole thing where Spirit's saying that somebody shouldn't have been able to do that to you. This person, I feel like in this story, wanted to do it to the person in the story, and they really were at vibing at a high vibration, and they really couldn't do it. But the answer is, again, I mean, that they could do it. For this person could do it, so they vibed high. See, you can't come back at a person with a lower consciousness. Like Martin Luther King said, you can't fight darkness with darkness. You can't. You have to transcend. And so this person made you feel a certain way about yourself. So in your mind said, this is as much as we can have. And it capped us off. So when we heal, we actually transcend the limitations of our own mind, because there is none because you're a spiritual being. So you have to look at things from a spiritual perspective and handle this situation from a spiritual perspective. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in all this fucking person's fuck shit drama, which is all about, like, I want to manipulate you. I don't really want to give anything. I really don't know what I want, but I want you when I feel like it. And they're so imbalanced. You know that they're imbalanced. You know that they're not going to give anything, that they're going to be hypersexual, that they're going to be, that they're not, that's what it's going to be. And so you can only transcend this energy. Again, fire alchemy. So again, you were in this energy, or this person did this to you, and then you wound up going into this energy. And that's why this person wants to come back, because you cut that energy. So it's like you cut it, but you may say, well, I feel like I can cut it for a certain amount of time and then it comes back. And it's because as long as you don't, if you're not putting something in place of that thought, how that person made you feel, or that just the thought of them, well, then it grows. You feed it, it grows. The cord gets stronger. So it's a grounding issue. And so Spirit's saying that person shouldn't have been able to make you feel all that. And if they did, it's because you had that from like childhood, you had that from other relationships, you accumulated that baggage. So we've come to this place within our juncture, Spirit says, where it's saying, well, now it's going to karmic loop, because we have to clear it. Otherwise, we see what we look for. So that's also the cord, which is, well, should I be with the devil that I know? Or should I wind up being with the devil? So there's also a little bit of fear on your part. And also because that person is a soulmate, there is still unconditional love. So sometimes we don't really want to let it go. We say to ourselves, well, we hold faith. Maybe that person will get it together one day. So all those are the reasons why you still have a cord, and that you need to then replace it with something else. You can't just cut a cord. And what I see is with this person, it's a long road. It's not like they're going to heal it tomorrow. They have a lot of spiritual blocks. That's why they made everything difficult. And they wanted you to martyr. They wanted you to sacrifice, like, too much, and to like where, like it was okay. But meanwhile, the irony is I feel like this person can be a martyr with people that are close in their life, and when people were forced to be the martyr, and that's a survival mechanism. If you grew up in an environment that you felt like wasn't safe, you're going to give all your energy, you're going to give all your time for the the safety of the home, to keep the home happy, and then go into your relationship, and you play that game, and you do this. And remember, this person felt the empathy. They thought you were a wounded empath. They thought that, and I feel like maybe you were, because there were those pieces of yourself that were missing. And this person, being that they didn't want to give you anything, they expected you to play that role, which triggered you, because that's a role that you didn't want to play, that I feel like you were made to play. And that's, the empath that can feel what mommy and daddy need, and the house is disruptive. It's because there is imbalances that haven't been healed. And that, again, could be infidelity. It could be alcoholism, which, P.S., this is this person coming into your life to recreate that family ancestral karma right there. It's like because it created an imprint on the subconscious mind that you grew up with, like in an imbalanced environment where, um, inheriting mom's trauma, dad's trauma, whatever the trauma was. So, and then you're not thinking like, oh, I'm afraid of this. You're not thinking that, but there are subconscious things that, block you from having love, and that's part of it. So, attracting this type of fragmented love resonates with your trauma. And so this person was like, "Oh, I feel like you're going to be a martyr. You're going to be the one that gives it to me. You're the one that's going to be self-sacrificing. You're the one." And like I said, they're probably doing it for other people because there doesn't really seem to be a strong sense of self here. And what they would be doing is deceiving. Again, I'm saying all the right words to you, but everything's for my best interest. So it doesn't mean that this person doesn't love too, because we're going to pull cards, because I can guarantee that you're going to see that this person actually loves you, thinks about you, like thinks about you too obsessively. But, again, the imbalance, the fact that they can't express themselves, the fact that they're, to the point where they would, want to control. So they'd be somebody that stalks you, someone that studies you, someone that to find information, where eventually you'd be like, it just doesn't feel right. Why don't I feel like it doesn't feel right? Why do I feel like this person's trying to get over on me? That's how you know it's a really bad cord, because spirit says, well, now if you're going to be paranoid, that how are you going to manifest? And be looking over your shoulder while you're connected to this person. And this person, believe me, they will say every single word to you to try to emotionally manipulate you, to gaslight you. They don't really care. They're always in a place of deceiving, and it's about, getting you to give to them so much, or it would feel like that. And it's, again, as a child that we learn how to do that. It's a survival mechanism. That's how the wounded healer comes about, is manifested, is birthed. It's, again, the wounded healer is taught to self-sacrifice, to make other people happy, to overgive, to overdo. That actually feels comfortable over time because, hey, that's what you grew up in. But again, this was what this person felt, and they read it because they studied you. So they possibly grew up in the same environment. They just decided to take a different role. And they were like, no, I might have been the martyr growing up, or they might have said, no, they might have tried to make me the martyr, but I learned to take the side of the narcissist. And the narcissist taught me to only take, to not get emotional, to deceive, to be 10 steps ahead, to strategize. That's how I will be safe. So again, the empath and narcissist relationship is birthed from that childhood trauma and formed that imprint on the subconscious mind for both people. Because it was still traumatic to the narcissist, which is why they say, no, I'm going to stay fragmented, but they still want what they want, what they want, what they want. And if you're going to confront them, they're going to lash out at you, but they're going to act like if you confront them, that you're lashing out at them, which this is part of the way that I don't really want to look at what you're telling me. I don't really want to change my behavior. But I'm going to still keep you on the hook, And I believe that I can do that because we have this connection. It's like, and I'm going to, instead of giving to you and pouring into you, you're going to feel ignored, like I said, this is the way that the narcissist keeps you down, the way that a person gaslights. It's psychic trauma. If you were ignored to a point that it traumatized you in childhood, well, you would have good claircognizance and clairsentient, Again, because it would be a survival mechanism. The more that you do clairsentient, the more that claircognizance happens. It just happens that way because of, that survival mechanism, that spirit. That's your supernatural energy. We can also use that energy to create our life. With this, it helps you to survive, where it's all about constraining you. Like I said, the person's not giving me anything, but they don't want me to come. And how? Through the mind, through, again, energetically, through spiritually, through psychically. So it's a drain. But Spirit says that shouldn't be like that. It means that you are spiritually imbalanced. It's like due to, again, certain things that have happened in your life. No one should be able to make you feel constrained. It means that you gave this person way too much power. And of course they're gonna be self-righteous. Like that's what they said. They're really insecure. That's the irony of it. So what we see here is a lot of mind games is what they did. A whole lot of nothing except for wasted your time, pretty much. Didn't want you to make a decision. And the more that you held on, the more that this fed this person's ego, the more that they were positive that eventually you were going to cave in, because who holds on for that long? It's just logic, right? But what they saw is that what they see now is that the cord has gone toxic. That it's like the cord is no longer held together with just purity of love and light. There's a lot of like betrayal, anger, resentment. Like there's a lot of other things on there because that this person decided to toy with you, decided to not care about you, decided to not care whether they wasted your time. So again, this is where they are. This is what had happened. This is what transpired. Um, I want to see what this person really feels, because the irony is, like I said, you'll be like, they feel that, like a lot of times, or they think what? It's like that doesn't even make sense. And it's like, no, but that's what psychological reversals are. That's what spiritual blocks are. Person's living from their level of consciousness. They're living their reality. That's not your reality. That's their reality. That's why we explain why they do what they do. This has nothing to do with you. This has to do with this was what they did. Your big mistake was not letting go a long time ago, and not cutting it a long time ago, and demanding that respect a long time ago. You kept giving this person chances, thinking, well, maybe they're just shy. Well, maybe this. Well, I don't want to come across like a crazy person. Well, I don't want this, which is all programming from growing up in that type of environment where if you were the martyr, the empath that gave and gave and gave, well, you're not going to set boundaries. You're going to question. You're going to, because that's how you were made to feel. So again, what helped you survive is going to block you from thriving. So again, the universe brings you back to a similar experience, because you can't go back in time. Your parents might be dead. You're just not going to move back in with them. That dynamic's not going to happen now. So again, you get to, the universe says, well, we have to create the same type of experience so that see what you're going to do about it. I feel our energy merging as one. So again, this person feels like you're still thinking about them. And I think what's happening for them is that their ego, their boundaries, because again, the time has come where, you're obviously not going to do anything unless this person comes back. And so they never thought that you would stay this far away. They would never think that this would play out for as long as it's played out. They thought maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, tops, maybe a month or two, but not how long that is played out, where now they use so much time and so much energy, again, which is what really destroyed this relationship even more. But this person is growing feelings. This person, so their mind still wants to reflect back on what has happened. You understand? Like what has happened, like, and also who you were in the past. So it's like they believe, well, you were crazy about me in the past, and now I'm starting to see, yeah, no, they're not looking at any of the betrayal that they did. So there's a part of this person that's like, I think I can get around it. Still deceiving, still strategizing is what I'm trying to point out. Because this is where they're like, they actually believe, well, I can still feel your energy. And yeah, you're mad, but I believe that I can get bypast that. And that's because they normally can with other people. And this person is used to doing nothing to fix it. There are subconscious fears affecting our ability to attract love and abundance. The universe is helping us make them conscious so we can easily attract what we want, including each other. So again, I feel like this is what this person feels. Again, well, that they're preventing it, and you're also preventing it. Clearly, they know why they're preventing it, but they're like, I don't really know why you're preventing it, because by now I really thought that you would give in to me. Yes, what helped you survive will block you from thriving a lot of times, because we have to handle the situation differently. So we're down here in physical form to learn that we're not separate from God, the universe. The universe is all knowing. Again, the universe is that supernatural power, So it's like we're not separate from that. However, we feel separate because of our experiences. But Spirit says, no, you have to integrate the spiritual lesson. There's many different realities that play out at one time. I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite as one. So again, there's still that passion, which this is why there's that cord, obviously. There had to be something that's keeping it together. It's certainly not like how everyone is feeling. It's like, because there is that passion, but that's why there's a fine line between love and hate. It's like, and if you don't heal it, it turns toxic. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our reunion. That's what this person thinks. It's like they're waiting for the perfect timing. They believe that this is a twin flame relationship, because I feel like they're like looking, now that they betrayed the relationship, they completely burnt it down to the fucking ground. It's like, now that you're like nowhere around, they're like, you know what? I really like you. I've compared you. I always liked you. I just wasn't ready to give you what you want. Now I really like you, because I went into the ice cream store and I tasted every single flavor. There was about 3,048 flavors, and I had every single flavor. And I realized that your flavor is the best flavor, but I needed to do that for myself. This is this person. And I know that we have this connection. I know that probably hurt you, but that's what I had to do. And I'm not really like sorry about it. So they still think that you're like, well, I believe that I can still, like, if this is real, I can win you back almost. It's what I needed to do, which is very kind of selfish, to be honest with you. It's very logical and analytical of this person. Is that they lack empathy. They lack sensitivity. They lack everything was about them. So understand, if you get into a relationship with this person, they're going to be selfish. Just, that's what they taught you right there. And if you think that you can deal with that, I got a news for you. You wouldn't be able to. It would trigger you. And eventually the person wouldn't care, because they're detached, disassociated from whatever they went through. And we know that because people don't strategize the entire time in a relationship to try to get what they want. I want to have my cake. I want to eat it too. I don't want to really look at what you need. That's not love. That's lust. That's not, it's again, this person will think that it's love though. It's again, but they're delusional, because they're not looking at any of the spiritual traits. They're feeling that what it is a karmic. And it because of them that it's a karmic. That's what's fucked up. And that's why you need to tell them when they come back around, be like, you're acting like it's actually you because of this. this and this because you're selfish. You're too selfish. It's like you're in a relationship by yourself, and you would have to. Even for this person, if you said, "Oh, well, the person really worked hard to get back into my life. I made them like prove to me for 5 months to 6 months to 7 months that they're not the selfish pig that they showed me that they are." And oh, how did they prove that? Well, my car broke down and it was like 4 a.m. They got out of bed, they did it. I was in a jam, they did it. They came by, then they fixed it. They observed something without me telling them. They did it. They were invested in my life. That's how. This person has a closed heart, which is why they're selfish. Our inner guidance is clear, but our ego is resisting it. Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, they can see it. The whole time they knew who you were. The whole time. And the whole time they know what they do. But they're in their ego and they don't know it. And that's why it would be a karmic. Because unconditional love requires us to surrender our ego. Yeah, it does. Because it's like, I'm sorry I screamed at you, even though it was my fault. I'm sorry that I blamed you. I'm sorry. It's being transparent. It's being vulnerable. It's the higher levels of consciousness. And this person's like in their ego. It's the low vibration. And it's because of their ego. Like I said, that's what's running the show here. And it's like, and they're still in it. That's the thing. They're coming back and they're like, well, we still have that connection. So they're still putting themselves in a good light. Still have that connection. Well, I had to do what I had to do, and like justifying their things. I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before. Yeah, it's like now they're seeing like that connection. They're seeing it, and they see again that that it was a special connection. That even though they did everything that they did, they still feel that unconditional love from you, because that's part of the cord that will never be broken, because that's God. That's the universal energy. That's what you recognized. That's what felt like home. That's why you were like, this person wouldn't do that to me. And it's like, and then they did it to you. And Spirit's like, well, they did it to you. And you're like, I fucking see that they did that to me. It's like, what? Well, now I'm mad. Now I'm angry. Now it brought up a lot of, again, shit for you, where this person is selfish. But it's not like they don't have feelings. It's, again, when I look into your eyes, the universe activates me, which I don't think that they think that. I think what it is I look at you, I get butterflies. I look at you and I get nervous. People don't make me feel nervous. Normally I'm detached. Normally I don't care. It's all about me. I don't have like relationships that are normal relationships. It usually ends in betrayal. And that's because they come in that way. They don't realize that they're the ones that create that self-fulfilling prophecy, of whatever happened to them in childhood. They want to replay that over and over and over and over again. Because even though they're the ones that are in control, they're still creating that same dynamic. It's like the person that says, I'm going to make sure that never happens to me. And the whole time they're focusing on it, but everything that they're doing is trying to like counteract it, and they walk right into what they're afraid of happening. And it's because they're not present in the moment. The focal point is on what they're afraid of. Yes. So again, inner child needs to come first again. And I feel like it's for you too, because you wouldn't have attracted this person into your life. So this is what we see, that this person thinks eventually I'm going to be able to come back because we have this connection. They're in their ego. That doesn't mean that they're not just telling themselves that. And again, to bide time, this person is avoidant. They tend to procrastinate. I'm sure they're hoping that you reach out to them. Again, they have a big ego. I'm sure this person does not want to reach out to you. So they don't want to still seem transparent. They're still in their ego. They know what they should do. They're not listening to it. That's why it is such a long road. It's like, because you're arrogant, because you don't want to, like, again, you just want to be in control. So you have to say, what kind of relationship would you be in? One that constrained you, because hey, that's what they were doing this whole time, but it would be done differently. Possibly like, well, whatever, your energy is, I'm going to utilize it, but I'm not going to be equal with my energy. It's I'm going to keep you in a place of disempowerment, but understand, it's like this person is running from lust and dominance, and eventually what would happen is they would get bored, because they would make you into somebody that they didn't like in their fear. It would bore them, because no one who wants to be with someone that does every little thing for them and is their slave. That you're always there, you're always available. Well, now you're boring me. Now I need to go out and meet somebody else. So again, this person doesn't build the emotional bonds that is required to have a healthy and good relationship, one that's balanced, one where, they're not so selfish. And that's what I'm saying. It's where they want to be seen as perfect. They would want you to be perfect. It's, again, there's no such thing as perfect. That would mean whatever their mood was for the day. And that's something that, again, if you were raised by somebody that was very moody and was able to dictate the entire household by their mood, well, you would be back in that type of environment with a person. It's all about putting you into a place of disempowerment. It's about control. This person has a really bad second chakra imbalance, where's your identity? They wouldn't go with the flow. Their passion is like lust. Like I said, there's parts of this person that's really fragmented. And God forbid you said anything, they would see it as judgment. This person can't deal with it, but they don't have a problem judging you. It's very like this one-sided dominant energy, all about disempowering you. But understand, this person thinks, well, you're my person. But what does that mean for them? It means controlling, dominance. It means, but they're lazy, and that's what the problem is. So this person has feelings for you, but they're too lazy to do anything, and they're just banking on that time and energy, and the connection is going to be enough for them to say a few words to get you back into their life, because they really do feel like you're their person, and that they do, but they're on such a low vibration that they don't make the mark clearly. It's like, and that's really what it is. It's like they're just not there again. And it's because there's a part of this person that feels inadequate. So if they can make you feel inadequate by not giving you anything, well, then you're not seeing their inadequacy. It's just, again, I don't really feel like I have enough. I don't know whether I'm enough. You're intimidating because you make me feel things. It's like, I don't really like to feel vulnerable. It makes me feel a lot of things I don't really like the control over me. That's the person that needs healing, because the love is not making this person feel like warm and cuddly. It's making this person want to be dominant. And again, and so through your empathy, through your sensitivity, through the type of person that you are, was like, well, you're going to do it. But really, the bottom line is that they feel inadequate. It has nothing to do with you. So you have to say, this is a fake twin. It's not a real twin, because they were past karmic that didn't make the mark. They had the opportunity to step it up into this lifetime, but the universe says there's no dice. You get to come back next lifetime and maybe do it again. But you may be, if you're a man in this lifetime, next lifetime you may be a woman. Remember, you're down here to learn. You're not separate from source, and source is all knowing. So in every lifetime, you play something different. There's a particular role that stands out. There's a particular time within your life that is, again, that gives you the test, and then whether you master the test. Because the first part of life is the person who you think you are. Then the second part of your life should be who you truly are. And that's because you're seeing things differently. You're doing things differently. That's why. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. Like, what were you supposed to learn? We pull 6 inner child cards, but understand that inner child wounds, when they're not healed, they continue to play out as karmic themes within your life until you heal them, until you integrate them. First card out, belittled. Second card out, truth. Of course, you're an empath. You're sensitive. So again, you're a truth speaker. There's knowing there. That's a gift. Water. Let's go with the flow of life. That's your second chakra. Guidance. 4. Nurture. 5. And outdoors and nature. 6. So we only really see like one really horrible card, like when we like look at abuse wise, like that would give you, like, again, the trauma, certain trauma would play out. I want to just pull 2 more from this another deck, which, you know what, I thought that I put it out because it's easy to find today. Like yesterday, it took me forever to find it. I was like, what the hell is this deck? All right, I'd like to pull 2 from this deck. 2, and then we'll put it all together. Tribe vibe and light the darkness. So, light the darkness. Nurture the light within you to guide you in the dark times. It's also like, I believe that that this situation pointed out like some of the darkness within inside of you that needed to be integrated, and that you can integrate it with the light that you have inside of you. There's nothing that you need outside of you to heal. The illusion is, now part of it is, again, not having anybody, being alone. Like, again, like if you're an empath and you were someone that was a nurturer, someone that was a healer, someone that, gave to other people that didn't give to yourself, it means that you didn't create enough of yourself. Like, your life needs to be made of experiences so that you know really who you are and what you want in life. But just like this person said, well, I need to go and try every single ice cream in the ice cream parlor to know that you're that person for me. Otherwise, I don't know it. Just because I feel the connection doesn't mean anything, because I don't know. That's, again, logical. Which you probably wouldn't have had a problem if the person was honest. They weren't honest. They didn't want you to do the same thing. That's what the issue was. So you don't have to face your fears alone and get support. I feel like being around your friends, getting the love and nurturing from your friends, and also joining things, being in an interactive, and just spending time going out and exploring new places and different things. You meet people along the way that are emotionally going to give to you. So that's really where the darkness, I feel like, well, not enough life, not enough experiences. And I say that because outdoors and nature. Outdoors is obviously the universe. The universe works through us. Nature helps ground us. And it helps ground us because, again, as we're interactive in life, our intuition is guiding us if we have a focal point that we're feeding. So again, a hobby, an interest, something that connects you to love, something that where you're going to lose your time, energy, focus, money without thinking about it. Like something that, because you have to transcend, again, and this is for you, Sheila, how do you cut the cord? You have to transcend the limitation of your mind, which is, this person made me feel like not good enough, not enough, not lovable, not worthy. Again, because they belittled me. They took me out of my groundedness. I really didn't feel any support whatsoever. And I wasn't really not able to go with the flow. And I wasn't able to, like, your second chakra is all about your identity. It's passion for life, but it's your identity. How do we find balance? Just to go to work and come home. No, balance resides in, there's many different things that I do within the day. That feed me emotionally. Spirit says, where was that for you? There wasn't anything and you were depleted. So you were depleted, possibly came from a bad relationship prior or no relationship. And wasn't really doing anything. So you didn't nurture yourself. It's about loving yourself. You can be a truth speaker and be an empath, but it's to be a healed empath. And healed empaths, again, before we focus on the second chakra, which is all about, balancing out your sensitivity. And so maybe, again, if your sensitivity is something that can give you a lot of anxiety, can make you feel inadequate, make you feel like, again, you're the squeaky wheel in a room full of people that aren't. And so, you have to have confidence because, again, people don't like the squeaky wheel. People don't like that. But it's, again, it's part of our path. When you're an empath, it means that you're supposed to be walking into like your confidence. So you're going to get situations that make you strong, that make you confident, that inevitably are going to trigger you. So Spirit says your nervous system was affected by what you grew up in. So again, that lack of connection to the physical world, the physical body, it's that root chakra. And the root chakra represents all major structures of the physical body. So we're looking about the nervous system, the endocrine system, the skeleton, everything, skeleton system, everything that creates support. So there was no support. Again, you grew up with no guidance. That's why there was no connection to the physical body. It might have been that there was someone there, but they were not really making you feel safe. They were making you feel, again, that they were belittling you, making you feel like not good enough. So angry parents can project that. What are you going to do that again? Well, how'd you do on the math test? Well, again, it's how the child self saw it. So again, made you become a truth speaker. The Spirit's saying, I need you to create yourself. This isn't comfortable. This person doesn't make you feel comfortable. Yes, there's a spiritual connection, but it's so corrupt and corroded now that it can't be fixed. And you know it because it keeps you ruminating. It keeps you in this karmic loop, which is where this person wants you. Because they're like, well, the more time, eventually you're going to get weak and going to come back around, because that's what normally happens. Where Spirit says you can transcend the limitations of that by becoming yourself, by giving yourself that emotional support, by connecting to people, healing yourself. Obviously, we have to be on a healing journey because you wouldn't have attracted this person into your life unless you were that. So I feel like you were the wounded healer, someone that gave too much. Now, I believe that you were the wounded healer as a child. However, you have healed those things, which is why the universe is saying, now it's test time. Since you healed those things, let's bring this person in. This person is a soulmate and they haven't gotten it right in the past, 87,000 lifetimes. Let's see whether they get it right for the 88,000th time. Probably won't, because again, they're very slow at evolving. But let's just see whether you pass the test. Again, because it's going to be your test too, whether or not how you handle this. So again, like the darkness, and the darkness that's inside of you is that there's pieces missing that are fragmented due from growing up being belittled and not really having guidance. Again, being belittled could be everything from being bullied, so you don't feel safe, even in dealing with people in the outside world. So Spirit says the antidote is, again, to get better connected to the physical body by strengthening your nervous system. Because again, that trauma is still there, which again, it shows that you're a little insecure. That's why the antidote is to get back into your body and create yourself more. Let your truth guide you. Again, your intuition, because you have strong intuition, because you didn't have the guidance. So Spirit gave you the guidance Do you trust yourself all the time? No, Spirit says, and that's also a problem. But if you strengthen your nervous system, you'll realize that only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. And when the intuition comes on, there's always a call to action right after. And when you're balanced by doing what you love, or just investing your time in different things that feed you emotionally, well, then the universe conspires to make a way where there is no way for you. You begin to know what your path is. You begin to find yourself. If you weren't allowed to create yourself, Spirit's saying, well, I would like you to go out and find your tribe first. Like, go out and you find your tribe by joining things that you're interested in. It doesn't mean that you're saying, oh, I'm going out to meet friends. It's like every week I'm down at the record store because they have a different singer or band that plays down there. And I met Carly, and I met Bob, and I met Jane. So I met some of those people, and they told me about some of these other things. And then I went there because I have an interest in it. And after the 50th, bar that I went to, I got to be friends with the manager. And now they're looking for someone to be like someone that designs actual events at the bar. Were you looking for the job? No, it just fell into it, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The universe conspires to bring you what you need. There's a sense, again, that you're in that creative genius, letting your spirit guide you. This person's at a low vibration due to the fact that they betrayed you, and they don't really want to come back and say, I'm sorry, and be transparent. That's what's holding them back. And also, I don't think that you're going to 100% take me back. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that you will, but I'm not really sure. And I know that unless I'm really sure, you're not going to. So I'm just going to sit here, and maybe, hopefully, you'll come back to me. That Spirit says you don't put your mind there. You put your mind on where you're going, what you're doing, and you transcend the limitations of that, because then this person gets to eat a nice big bowl of shit, meaning they get to eat the karma, because you go on and you have a great life, and this person will see, wow, look, I could have had a good time. Look, she's at she or he is at another concert. Oh, look who they met. Oh, now they got going there, and it's all because you were feeding yourself. You found your tribe. You found your friends. You found the people that are going to support you. Because again, that root chakra isn't just your connection to the physical body, but everyone else that's in the world that can help you grow. Because it's not about what you know a lot of times. It's about who you know a lot of times. So Spirit's saying is like, there's just not enough of that. And this person just... They're not going to learn. They can come back next lifetime, and maybe they can figure it out. But it's their turn again to be the one that sees you stay in this energy, you're not going to get what you want, or they'll wind up with a karmic, and yet eventually not get what they want, because they don't really want that once they make that. And that's the thing. So Spirit says this was more or less about you becoming aware of what needed to be healed within inside of you, why you needed to heal it, because you need to bypass a reptilian mind, because you have homework to do. And the thing is, we're all lazy. We're all like, healing doesn't feel good. So we're like, why do I really have to do it? Maybe it won't be that bad. And Spirit says, no, if you know why you manifested this, then you're not going to say that. You're going to say, I'm going to do it because it's true. And it's like, but you'll find your process. Even if it's just a little tiny mustard seed's worth of effort every day, you'll put that effort in, and that understand the universe matches your energy. So, like I said, your effort is multiplied. All right, so Spirit leaves us off with one more message. Thank you, Sheila. Is joy. And this is where Spirit wants. It says, this is your advice. Joy. Like a child, discover joy in the simplicities of life. Happiness lies in magical moments, not in the material. Even the smallest joy is a great source of light. So Spirit's saying, if you were belittled, you weren't really like a child. You weren't able to be like a child. And Spirit says, I want you to be like a child. Find what fills you with joy and happiness, because that's where your passion will be. And that's where you'll find God. Because again, it's when you're co creating with the universe that you actually know God, because you're seeing that for everything that you do, that the universe is conspiring to bring you everything that you need to support you, even if it's a karmic, because what they're saying is you need to clear this, you need to add more of this energy in order for you to manifest what it is that you're trying to manifest. It's like, and sometimes you might say, like me, just being a child, Spirit says, sometimes it's that it'll feel wrong. It feels wrong to be a child if you weren't allowed to go out and play. You'd say, the first thing is like, what am I going to do? I don't have time for this. It's like, how much money is that going to cost me? And it's all that comes up, which is like, I'm not going to invest in myself. And Spirit says, no, you have to invest in yourself. And you're like, why? Because Spirit says you're still looking at yourself through the filter of the trauma that went by. And that's not who you are. It's, again, you don't know who you are. Again, we give you the story of who you think you are. Then there's a real story of who you truly are. Because those people that were in the environment that when you were younger that told you who you are, they're not around now. You get to choose. So that's what Spirit is saying. Why would you choose to be back with someone that's going to keep you stuck in this lower consciousness that makes you feel like you're not good enough, that belittles you, that's a little bit of a bully, that plays games, because that's what it feels like when someone's so manipulative and they're always strategizing and always deceiving. That's what it feels like. So Spirit's saying is, that's fear, obviously, and you have to get out of it and put yourself into joy. That's the antidote. That's why the antidote is what it is. How do you look at yourself? What do you mean, how do you look at yourself? Just look at yourself. Like, I mean, we look at ourselves by when a person does, everything should make you look at yourself, really. It's like everything that we do, there's a karmic consequence. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes there's like, it's just even, it equals out. So it's really your karma that should make you look at yourself. It's the emotions that should make you look at yourself. Then what you need to do is you need to integrate the spiritual lesson, and you know what your emotions are the gateway to your spiritual healing. So that's why you would need the coaching, because it's like you do reframing exercises, you do shadow healing exercises, you integrate the spiritual lesson, you find your gifts. Because remember, it's not just getting rid of the trauma. There's no such thing. You have to, again, transmute it. You have to integrate it. So you become yourself. And you become yourself. And as you're healing yourself, your psychic abilities open up, because we all are born psychic. The world makes us lose that. Our environments make us lose that. So while you're becoming yourself, there becomes more and more awareness. But it's like, as you become yourself, you're clearing more and more spiritual blocks, because the universe is then conspiring to bring you what you need to help clear you, because the universe doesn't care what you manifest, as long as it's something that's going to contribute to humanity, as long as it connects you to love. What it cares about is for you to get back to your original energy, your God-given energy, which is just unconditional love. That's the way you were born. When you were born, you didn't have prejudice. You were a baby. Babies don't know one way or the other. So that's what Spirit's saying. I need for you to be an adult and evolve back to that consciousness. Yeah, so am I. So again, you guys get to sign up on Sunday, and I'll be on again later today. Because I have a few channels, but I think from here on out, I am going to just do one channel a day instead of bounce around, to try and give more help to each channel. So I'll alternate between my Virgo channel and the Scorpio channel, and Gemini channel is new. But I don't know why I picked 3 channels. One channel I did an all the zodiac channel that didn't really work out because no one really likes to go fish through like the all zodiac. And then I did a Virgo channel because that's my zodiac and it took off. And then I said, well, maybe it's a coincidence. And then I did this channel, and this channel it does pretty good. And I was like, well, I guess, it had nothing to do with, you know, it has nothing to do with the readings. It has something to do with the fact that it was an all zodiac. So I was being led, I was finding my process. Because everything underneath me is Scorpio. I have one sign in Gemini, and that was why. And I really associate myself being more like a Scorpio. Everyone tells me you're more of a Scorpio, and I know that because Scorpios have we're mysterious, we're very nice, but we have the power to transmute like negative energy. We know dark energy. Yeah, I know. That's why I have a Gemini moon, which is the worst, they say, because it means emotionally that I could be flaky. Like you like the person one day and then you don't like, but I don't really feel like I'm like that, even though I was born with a Gemini moon. I feel like I am someone that's deep and someone that is more run not by my moons and my astrology. I I I'm led more by the trauma. I believe that it's more of like whatever has gone in our life that has shaped our life. And so they say, well, your zodiac will tell you why those things happen. But it's again for me, it's like the mediums that I like to use are science, psychology, and religion because it all backs itself up. Universal laws, spiritual laws. I'd like to prove it that it all is the same thing, that people tend to confuse it. People put their own terminology on, this isn't a religious thing. This is a spiritual thing, but it does line up with every single religion. Every single religion will teach you, you know, how to love yourself, how to love your neighbor, how to become. It's just sometimes it's difficult in the scripture to actually like extract that information. And that's what it is. Four in placements and the side says, yeah, see that? See, life path is 11, and so is mine 11, believe it or not. But I'm right on the cusp of Virgo. And I am not a Virgo at all. Virgos are smart in school, not me. Virgos are organized, not me. Virgos are methodical, not me. If anything, I need to master everything in that zodiac. Everything in that fucking zodiac, I have to master. It's like, I don't like that zodiac. So it's like, I can't believe that I was even born underneath the Virgo. Because Virgos are they're tight asses. Come on. That's like, everything is like, that's not done perfect. That's not done. There's nothing worse than a squeaky wheel Virgo, a highly sensitive Virgo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, it's like you're like that one that's gonna like point out, like, you have a little stain on your shirt, you're trying to like hide it maybe with a pin, and that person comes right over. What do you got a pin here? Let me see that pin. Oh, it's not on right. Oh, look, you got a stain underneath that pin. That's a Virgo. You know what I mean? It's like, that is not me. You know what I mean? I'm the person that you get into the car and there's the shit all over the car that you got to move out of the way. You know what I mean? And someone that's a wing it type of person. I'm led by my heart, like a Scorpio. Led by our heart is what we feel. It's like, and that's why sometimes we can burn down the house and not realize it because we get too emotional. But it's always meant with good fun. It doesn't mean anything. Or not really good fun, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. We get mad 5 minutes later, we're not really mad, and we're not sitting there, conniving. Unless you really piss us off, then you've got to watch out. But for the most part, we are not that way. We're emotional. We're deep. We're healers. We know how to, we're the only sign that transmutes. Like, I mean, that scorpionic energy is like, it's Slytherin energy. Like, because we can go to the dark side, but it doesn't mean that we are from the dark side. It means that we're comfortable in the dark side, that we don't have a problem with it. It's like we don't want to live there because we want to like create our own life. However, if we have friends or if we have relatives or if we have to heal within our job, we don't have a problem being on that in the dark side of energy, where other people are like, oh no. A Virgo would be like, oh no, it's not underneath the right conditions. It's got to be 78 degrees, point 0.7. And, it should smell like lavender and whatever. And we are not that. We are not that. Like, again, then that's one thing for sure. We're like, whatever the situation is, we're going to deal with it. It's like, and that's transmutation energy. So we are natural born. Scorpions are natural born healers. A lot of times they have that gift of empathy, sensitivity, because they have the healing sign. So a lot of them do go into, healing other people, but like working with people that have drug addiction, working with people that like are in the dark is what I'm saying. And it's like, and it takes a person that is not afraid to go deep to be with Scorpio. Otherwise, Scorpio does not get what they need. It's like you have to like be real and transparent. That's why this relationship would never work. This relationship was that for this person, they had the opportunity. They failed the test. And for you, Spirit says, are you going to give in? Are you going to be a martyr and give up what you want again? Or are you going to do what's right for you? It's like, and so thank God you did what you did for you. And then, like I said, the antidote is passion, fun, friends, like find yourself. So what is this? I'm a Scorpio moon and resonated with everything you say. This channel, I am struggling with a Capricorn sun, 6 month of separation and counting. I feel like that's the thing, regardless of the zodiac. People are people, and that's the thing. It's like, if it's real, you'll know because the person will come back to you. But usually they don't come back until you're over it. It's like, and that's really what it is. 6 months isn't really a long time. A lot of times in the beginning, a person thinks that it's a game, a little bit like a game. Oh, you're not going to talk to me because you don't like what it is. Okay, I'm not going to talk to you. And they run around and they talk to a lot of other people and they avoid it to try and they don't even look at it at first. Eventually, what happens is they date a few losers. There's other things that happen. And then, where they're like, well, that person really wasn't that bad. But that's why they begin to reflect, they begin to see. So 6 months really isn't that long. So you shouldn't, even though it's long for you, because when you say 6 months and counting, and then Spirit says that's the problem. Because it's like energetically, if you are connected to this person, they're like, again, going to be like, well, I know, can still feel you. So you have to force yourself to go out. You have to force yourself because, listen, a lot of times when people get together, and I'm not going to lecture a lot, but I'm going to leave off on this note. A lot of people, when you meet them, they've already got out of bad relationships and they're afraid of losing themselves in a relationship. And like, again, there's a reason why they make a woman sound like, oh, that old ball and chain, it sounds like jail. You know what I mean? Do you want to go to jail? No, most people don't want to go to jail. Most people are like, nah, that's not really what I would like to do this Saturday. But being in a relationship, it's like feel like we're being in jail all the time. If this person in this story wound up with that person, they would feel like they were in jail all the time. Because again, they need to control, they need to dominate, they need to constrain. Where what else is taking its place? So like it would be different if you were interactive in your life, doing different things, meeting different people, forcing yourself, even though you don't want to, where it really spirit saying that person didn't earn that spot in your life. You made them like the president or vice president of your life. They didn't earn it. They shouldn't have even, you know what they could have done? They could have been the clerk that got the coffee. That's what they could have did. But you made them the vice president. They didn't belong being the vice president. And that's why you're like, I feel bad because it's like I really, now it doesn't mean that they didn't have a connection. What it means is it's like, well, you're so available and now, and you talk to me like you have expectation of what you want this relationship to be. And just the expectation scares them. See, when you first meet a person as a soulmate, there is no expectation. It's just, wow, I like this person. I hope that they talk to me. Oh, I like that person. And you're just happy. And then what happens is they give to you, and then it's like, I want to know what's going to happen in the relationship. I want to know what we're doing in the relationship. I want to know where we're going in the relationship, because you're like, well, I don't want you to run around like while I'm dating you, while you're dating other people, because that's fucked up to me. So understand, this is what it is. It's like where it's not about you you focusing so much on this person, and it's hard because now that they're gone, you feel that hole, and spirit says, yeah, you see that hole right there? Why is that there? And you're like, well, because they were there and I was getting, spirit says they shouldn't have, that shouldn't have happened. It's like, because they didn't earn their way. It's how much a person opens up their heart and gives to you. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, even if they set expectations in the beginning, well, then that's their way of, I have expectations of you. But then that's when you should have said, well, then these are my expectations. It's like, but a lot of times what they won't do is they won't even verbalize their expectations, but you can notice them intuitively, and you could have called them out on it right then and there and said, well, I don't really know if I feel comfortable with that, especially if this is what you're doing for me. See, a lot of times they'll come in like, hey, baby, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Like, I really am thinking, do I know you from somewhere? But me, I feel like I know you from somewhere. We have this familiarity. There's this chemistry. There's this. They want you to get caught up in that shit and then do what they want. But your intuition should, the whole time, should be like, I feel what you're doing. Yeah, I also see also what you're doing with the, like, trying to make me feel a certain way. You're trying to stir up emotions, but I still can feel you think that I am not going to call you out on that shit because I care that much about your feeling of what you're going to get. You need to be like, I see what, I don't give a fuck about what your feelings are. It's like, let's talk about this. And if you were to do that, you'd watch that person turn into, like, you'd watch them become defensive. You'd watch them become, because maybe not call them out the way that I just did, but instead of saying, you know what, you care, oh, you have all these feelings and you feel like you know me, be like, where did your resources go? How long have you been in my life? You've been in my life for 8 months, 6 months, 7 months. Like, how often do we get together? How often do you call me? How often, like, wow, that's crazy for how little you give that you feel that. I think a lot is imaginative, because really relationships are something that happens over time. When it's real, it's based on trust. And that only happens when it's giving over time. And really what you're telling me, you're like, you love me, you want to take me to Tahiti, you want me to, be the next mother of your 60 children and live on the farm with your ancestors and live a glorious life. And you just met me, and you didn't want to call me back the other day, and you don't want to buy me coffee. You want me to do all this other stuff, but were you around to even take me to coffee when my mother died, my father died, when I had that promotion at work? Were you celebrating? Were you cheering in my corner? It looks like there's really nothing. I don't see anything here. I mean, did you come in as somebody else? Did you disguise yourself as somebody else? Because it's like, I don't see anything here, and you feel that. And you call somebody out like that, they're like, you're telling them, you didn't give me enough time. You didn't give me enough energy. You didn't invest in me. So I don't care about your words because your words don't mean shit. That's what you're saying. What you're saying is, I want to see where your resources went. That's where I would like to see. I would like to know where your time went because it wasn't with me, because that's who you really cared about. Because even if you were afraid, even if you were, again, like if you were afraid, then you still care about something else more than you cared about me. The loyalty, the lack of loyalty, the lack of respect, the lack of effort. Now, part of that is just because this person's on a low vibration. They've always been that way. They've had the opportunity to rise up. So, I mean, this is what it is. It's like, well, that's what I'm saying. He got crazy because he knew he was wrong. And that's what, how you know, because a person that was wrong, they would be like, no, that's not true. This is what happened. And they would tell you, and they wouldn't have any emotional trigger at all, because they would say, well, oh, that's your perception. Oh, I don't want you to feel that way. I know if I hurt somebody and I care about that person, like, let's just say you do something to your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, a friend, a neighbor, someone that you care about, a friend. Are you going to set when your mother turns around to you and says, I thought that you didn't show up at my party because you were angry at me, and you'd be like, Ma, no, I had to actually work late. That's not what happened at all. I forgot, like, that argument that we had. It's like, I didn't even take into consideration. So understand, that's how people come when people are defensive, which, remember, that's what happened. They see it as they'll lash out at you. And then they lash out because what you're doing is you're just shining a light on what they don't want you to look at. They don't want you to look at that. I want you to get creative. I like, what is this? This is the narrative. I created space 2 days. Oh, like in 2 days. Well, that's good. I mean, but my point is that you would do that. You would, that it when a person gets crazy. And the deal is, don't you get crazy. Your way is to say, okay, yeah, 60 kids went on the seeds of 60. Yeah, wait, right. It's like, I believe in, I think that that's really what it is. It's like, you need to then say, well, you and I don't see things on the same way, or that's okay. You can see it because they're going to tell you that you're crazy, that you're this, that you're that. And you can say, well, that's the way that you see it. That's fine. So don't get emotional, and move on. And you move on by throwing yourself into your own life, and you hang out with friends in the beginning to give you support, even to get your mind off of. But it's really to fill the hole with yourself, things that are going to feed you, grow you, and give you that emotional support back. So it's joining things, and learning things, and traveling to different places, and meeting new friends, and hanging out with old friends, and sometimes hanging out alone. Don't be codependent. So it's more or less about getting strong with yourself. And that's why this happens, because Spirit's saying, too much of the old energy, which this person knew that. They said, well, this is too much of the old energy for me, which is why I went out to the ice cream store and had every single flavor. That's why, which is, you're like, okay, yeah, but that was so disrespectful to me. Well, I had to do what was best for me. This is my life. So I get why they did what they did. I don't like the fact that they held on, but that's why they did it. They were like, I haven't lived enough life to really know. I don't want to make this decision so fast. But which is understandable, but you were selfish. Yeah, like, I was like, I'm glad that you enjoy it, Comsty. I felt like they were constantly trying to bait me. Well, that's what it is. It's like I wanna bait you, I wanna manipulate you, I wanna, it's which that's how you know that this is not love. This is lust. This is more of dominance. It becomes like a challenge, and I'm not trying to make it into a challenge. I'm not making this into a challenge. What I'm doing is that I'm setting boundaries, and you're getting triggered by my boundaries because you thought that I was somebody else. You thought because I had empathy and I'm sensitive and we have this connection that, and I might have even shared with you some of my previous, and this is why you should never share your previous like experiences of betrayal with anyone else, because they will have no problem whatsoever to come in and betray you, do the same exact thing. And you gave them the exact how and when. Instead, have a love affair in yourself and you make that person chase you. And you chase you by not really having to chase you because you're not playing a game. What you're doing is you're just not available. You have other things. They want to come back into your life. They have to put a little effort in. They have to make an appointment per se. Hey, would you like to hang out on Saturday? Would you like with real plans? Otherwise, no. Do I want to like hang out with you to what? Have you come over and do Netflix and chill and do this? Or do I want to go to that concert and hang out with all these people that I've been meeting? And we'll go out to eat after. We might go to that restaurant, and oh, that person, that cute guy that I met might show up. I might meet new people. Oh, I like this person. They're going to be there. No, it's like, look, I'm going to either be here filling myself up, enjoying myself, enjoying my night, dancing, laughing, enjoying myself, connecting deeply with people, enjoying good music, enjoying good food, or do I want to fucking hang out with you when you don't bring anything to the table? It's like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. That's what you would say. It's like, no, I have plans. It's like, well, do I want to do that? And that's how this person would know I need to give a lot more if I want to be in this person's life. You're not telling them that, but what you're saying is, what are you doing? Why are you making it worth my time? Who are you? Are you going to share some knowledge with me? Are you going to grow me in my mind? No, you just want to like waste my time. Are you we going to have a good experience together? No, you want to watch Netflix. I could do that by myself. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. No, I don't have time for you. You know why? My time is limited, and I only feed things that feed me back. And that's what you would be telling this person. Out of my life. It's like, and no, they wouldn't like it, but if they met you from that level of consciousness right from the beginning, they would be presented with either I got to rise it up or I have to step it up. It's like I either have to step it up or I need to get the hell out. One or the other. That's how it needs to be. It's like, and that person would, again, it would be clear and you would be clear and that would be it. You're always going to get people that try to emotionally manipulate you all the time. Spirit says all the time. But this isn't that. This is more or less about you like saying, I know my worth. And that's where Spirit was saying, you're not nurturing yourself. If you were belittled, you might not be used to, nurturing yourself. So again, you have to reparent yourself. That's part of the integration process. You reparent yourself. Again, you see a different side of yourself. Then the universe brings you the same exact fucking lesson again. I just want you to know, just because you passed, it doesn't mean anything. You're going to go through that lesson again. This time, you're not going to have as much anxiety. By the fourth time that the universe brings it after, you're like, oh, here it is again. I'm just going to handle it like that. Did you see what you just did to that person? I don't care. I don't have time. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Oh, you're not scared of them? I remember when you used to be so scared of them. I remember when you used to get so much anxiety and that you just tossed that. I don't have time for it. It's like, I know who I am now. I didn't know who I was before. It's like, and that's why the universe gives it to you a few times. Says, well, that was a lot better this time. That was better. Oh, that didn't do such a hot job this time. You need to set better boundaries. You see how Priscilla came back in and she swindled her way right back in to eating all those cookies. You know, they were only, so you know, it was saving them forever. All the people at the PTA, and look, this person came right on in and swooped up all the cookies. Your boundaries are so bad. It's like, I don't know why I wind up getting manipulated into driving Kathy Lee home every day. She lives like an hour out of the way. She makes me feel bad. And Spirit says, boundaries are bad. Boundaries are bad. People see that the boundaries are bad. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. I'm going to avoid. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to tell them off. I'm going to tell them how I do everything and I get nothing in return. Spirit's like, fail, 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 fail. That's not going to work. It's like we're down four lifetimes now, like of trying to learn that lesson. Can we do something different? And it's like, well, I'm just going to tell them straight away that I have other plans. And Spirit says, oh, thank God. It's like, again, be as wise as a serpent, but be as gentle as a dove. We don't need to tell everybody what we know, but we do have to deal with them in a nice and gracious way, and always with love, because we don't know who we're dealing with. We don't know how wounded that person is. We don't know. So it's a way that we keep our vibe high. Boundaries will always be a hard thing, especially with people that we really love and care about. That's why the karmic lessons are always with the people that are closest to us. So once you get a strong sense of self, though, boundaries are not hard, because what you say is, I'm allowed, it's me first. It's me first, because when I feed myself first, I make a better version of myself for everyone else. That's first of all. Then there's number two. It's more or less like, if you enjoy this more than you enjoy that, then you should be putting your time towards what you enjoy. Meaning, I enjoy dancing every Wednesday. I don't enjoy arguing every Wednesday, because when this person comes over, all we do is argue. So you don't need to break up with the person and say, every week you come by and we argue. No, you keep your mouth shut and you don't say anything, and you just say, oh, you wanted to do dinner Wednesday. I can't, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with the stars on Wednesday. And they paired me up with Carlos, you see. And, Carlos is really good looking, and Carlos is gay. It doesn't matter, because I can still fantasize and have a good time. And I have two left feet. I'm having a good time. I'm there. I'm learning something, and I'm not around for you. That's what you're telling this person. I'm not around for you. I have other things going that fulfill me emotionally, and I have opportunities everywhere where I go. You don't know that Carlos is gay. You don't know that. So again, you just see I'm having a good time and learning something, and I decide to pour it all into myself so that I can Oh, you don't have any? You wanted me to do that for you? Well, again, what's here? Were you here? Were you here for my birthday? Were you here for the graduation? Were you here for oh, you didn't think you needed to call. Oh, I should call you when I graduate. I should call you when my mother dies. I should call you. Oh, you're lazy. No. I only have a little bit left. Actually, I have another bottle. I got plenty. But, I got to be resourceful with my time and my energy. And I see a bunch of breadcrumbs here. So maybe you can go to the park and feed the pigeons. But, that's what's here. That's what you're saying without saying it. And that person gets the message loud and clear. You never use your words. Never use your words. What you do is you are interactive in your life, because it sends the message loud and clear Person's not stupid. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. They're going to play lazy. They're going to play dumb. They're going to come in handicapped. They're going to come in all different ways because it's, well, I got hurt. I don't want to build the emotional connection because how do I know it's going to be you? How do I know? Well, you're never going to know unless you invest time. And so you have to make someone invest the time. And if you're sitting there all the time saying, here you go. Here, you're thirsty here. Well, why? No, it's like, then I don't need to do anything for you because you just give it. But if you're enjoying it yourself, then they're saying, wow, aren't they the picture? They got it all. They're good looking. They're drinking water. I have no water. I'm like in a desert over here. They got water. They got it all. I mean, and they go out dancing on Wednesday. Look, they have a good life. They're not thinking about me. That's for sure. It's like you're sending a message without saying anything because believe me, they know your mistakes. Most of them, Sheila, and everyone else is you explain too much. You try, let's talk about it. When you think that person actually doesn't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You get a lot more with silence. It's, I know what you did. You're not even worth my breath. Putting my energy over here. That sends a message loud and clear because by the time that they actually realize that you have detached from them, they're like, oh my God, so much time has left. I wonder what's been going on. Are they dating someone else? I don't even know. I should have came in and fixed it. I should have, if it's real. You don't say anything. But what you're saying is I detach my energy and I'm over here. And that again sends a clear picture of I don't need to say anything to you because you're not worth the dirt on my shoe. That's why. Because if you can sit there and ghost me and not talk to me and breadcrumb me and treat me with disrespect, you're not worth the dirt on my shoe. So I don't have to waste my breath on you. That's when the person will eventually come back if it's real and they'll humble themselves. And Spirit says, yeah, and you have to make them come back with their tail between their legs and apologize and be humble. Because what you're saying is that energy is not acceptable because you're trying to make me feel less than what the fuck I am. And I know who I am. So you must not know who you are because you treated me like this. So if you clearly don't know who I am, you don't know who you are. So you need to go back over there and figure it out. And it's like that person needs to see it's like respect. Respect is given. You don't want love without respect. You don't want it because it's just lust then. And then I can dispose of you. And you'll be like, but we had this connection. Doesn't matter. If they don't feed it, they have to feed the connection. And you're feeding the connection by even just your thought. So cut it. Yeah, you have to. It's like tolerating ghosting anymore. Like, don't tolerate ghosting. Yeah, be as gentle as a dove. Meaning, I know exactly what you did, darling. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, everything's great. So great to see. Yeah, ever so great to see you. Oh, no, I'm not going to be around tonight. No. I got plans. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a month. I got, I got things going on. And again, don't tell them what you're doing either. Don't say I'm dating someone. Nothing. Don't say I'm dating someone. Don't say I'm having a good time. Don't say I'm not dating someone. I have plans. Big. You didn't earn the right to know what I do either. It's like, because you're not going to use that information against me. You're going to work to get into my life to prove to me. And that's how much energy. And then if you're around, you actually see what I'm doing. So you don't need to actually ask me. You see, that's how that works. And that's what you tell the person. And what you're doing is you're holding to a standard. And no, not a lot of people are going to want to deal with it. However, you won't get screwed over, meaning karmically, you won't eat the karmic shit. If anything, the person that tries to get over on you will, because what they're doing is they're trying to create the facade for themselves, and you're not allowing that. You know, you're not all that great that you don't have to put in no effort. No, no, no. Like, I don't love you that much. No, no, no. That's something again you need to get your own water at the deli. It's like that's my water. It's like, and I never said that. It's like I'm pouring into myself, as you could see. So again, you're holding to that standard, and eventually they'll just go to either a lower hanging fruit, or eventually they'll be like, oh, fine, like I really like this person, so I'm gonna try. And then spirit says, oh, they're gonna try finally. You see, they don't have any confidence. You see, so they don't like to try. If they don't try, they get to stay seeing themselves a certain way. So they're not going to try. But if they really like you, well, what you're doing is saying, "I demand it. I demand it," and it's like, and that person knows you don't have to say a word. Never use words. When you use words, what you're saying is, don't you see how much I care about you? Don't you see how wrong it is that you do this? Don't you see? You know what that person hears? I, I don't have to do anything. They're crazy about me. They're just crazy about me. Oh, yeah, I'll do it again. And I'll apologize, but I don't really mean it. I won't even remember what I did because it's just a habit. The person just bitches over everything, you see? And then it begins to corrode the relationship, becomes toxic. So never a word. Believe me, if there's a problem, they're going to say, is what's the problem? What did I do? It's like if they say that, then you could say, oh, I don't understand why you actually showing me that you think that there's a problem. What do you mean there's not a problem? You're not talking to me. Oh, you think you're acting like there's a problem. I can't believe it. Again, I can't believe that you think that there's a problem. What? You haven't talked to me. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. Be like, on my call log, I don't see that you called. I don't see any text messages. I mean, the last time maybe was a month ago, a few weeks ago. So, am I supposed to give you something that you're not giving to me? Oh, I didn't realize that you wanted me to like prove to you. I didn't realize you were that insecure, that you need me to like do all that for you. It's again, what you're doing is though someone points it out to you, you can say it just like that. Like you're so surprised I haven't reached out to you. What? Like, I don't see you on my call log. I don't see, again, how much time have you put here? You haven't put it here. And that is what you're saying loud and clear to that person. You didn't invest. So I don't have to do any of that for you. You have a false sense of entitlement. And whatever we had, you actually destroyed because you never fed it. So, me just taking you back and forgiving you, I really don't want to. There really wouldn't be a want or a desire to because the person really corroded the relationship. However, if you're gonna, if a person really cares about you and loves you, your no won't mean anything. They will try. They will continue to try to do it. And you'll see how long they put in the effort. And a lot of times, what you'll see is they don't put in that much effort because, hey, me just coming back and saying I'm ready, that was a big deal. It was a big deal for you because you don't do anything. But for me, it was a crouton. It was a little bit more than a breadcrumb. It was a crouton, but it's gluten. I can't eat gluten. You see? So it wasn't even good effort, is what I'm saying. It's like it was a breadcrumb and it was gluten. It wasn't like it was anything delicious. It wasn't anything of real quality. It was the minimum. And when I say a crouton that's gluten, I'm talking about like you reached out to me on Facebook. You reached out with a text message. You reached out with the most minimal effort. And I'm allergic to gluten. So I'm going to accept that crouton of an effort and I'm going to get a lot of inflammation. I'm going to have an allergy attack because of it. I'm going to be bloated out because of it. It's like it's more aggravation than it's worth. And I know that because you're not coming in correct. You're not coming in correct. And that's what you say, where you're saying, I know exactly who you are. And so what you do is you leave that person better than what you found them, because let me tell you, you're going to change them. It means they eat the karma, meaning, hey, this is a past life karmic because you didn't step it up to twin flame level. So guess what? You get to eat the karma, which means I am not with you. You are not. You did not read me right. You did not respect me. You did not earn the right to be in my life. And then the universe usually says, and now because they were a real piece of crap to you, well, now you got that promotion. So now they're going to see you again being able to do all these things that they could have joined you to do. Now they're going to see your life differently because you showed yourself love. This was a soulmate relationship. It was a strong one. But again, the person didn't do what they should have did. So, I'm going to bring someone else to you. Again, that's going to be a replacement because this one, came defective out of the box. You went to the store, you bought it brand new, it was defective. So you had to bring it back and say, this doesn't work. And the universe says, no problem. We'll get you a better one and we'll throw in the blue eyes and the wavy hair or whatever it is that's your fancy. Oh, you like the skateboarder type. Okay, well, you like this. Oh, you like the person that's a multi-billionaire. All right, we'll bring that person to you. So it's again, and that person gets to see you happy. And they say, I had the opportunity. It was a missed opportunity because I didn't step it up. And they took every chance not to. And what you said was, I see who you are the whole time. You tried everything to manipulate me and nothing worked. If anything, you just corroded the connection more and more and more and more. And that's what a karmic is. And that's somebody that doesn't deserve your time. All right. Anyone have any other questions? If not, I'm going to go. We did a long one today, almost 2 hours. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for sharing your energy with me. And I'll be on again later.